everyone, it's me again. I'm Lena and I'm from the Healthcare Landscape Group. In this video, I'll be talking about my D1, which is my progress week 106. Now in this video, I'll be following 5 main parts. The first part is what have I learned. The second part is the intentions I've made for myself this week based on the things that I've done last week. Also, I'll be talking about the improvements I have made, the discussion in the meeting, and lastly, the works for week 106 or next week. So let's get started on my first part, which is what have I learned. Well, last week I have learned about the math patterns in patient care. So for example, I talked about 5 main applications of math patterns in patient care, and for example, there's diagnosis and monitoring, medication and dosage calculations, predictive health models, treatment planning, and healthcare system management. Also, I've talked about some of the mathematical tools used by healthcare professionals to analyze data for these applications. And so those are the things that I have learned last week. Moving on to the next part, which is the intentions that I have set up for myself this week to follow. Now, the first intention is I need to send in the feedback on time and on Thursday. So that is the deadline for for sending in the feedback. So that is one thing I need to improve. Another thing is that I need to send in my meeting plan 30 minutes before the meeting. So I will need to send in my meeting plan so that the members or candidate could follow my meeting plan and then based on that make her meeting plan. So that is the second intention that I have. The third part is the improvements that I have made, and I think that I've made 2 main improvements, which is one, that in my main video last week, I think that I've covered all the necessary parts and most of the applications in math patterns in healthcare, and I've given some examples like when I went to the doctor's office, when I went to the hospital to check for my hair to see its problems, and that is the first thing that I have improved. The second thing is that I think that I have added more, I felt like I have added more illustrations, made my presentation more creative in the meeting. So that is the second thing that I felt like I have improved. Moving on to the fourth part, which is the discussion in the meeting. Now, the discussion in the meeting mainly focuses on 2 main areas. The first area is on self-reflection, where we just shared with each other our intentions and our improvements that we have made over the last week. And for the second part, which is the main work, firstly, Kennedy and I discussed and shared our viewpoints and our point of views and opinions on the video that Mrs. Pratt sent into the group and asked us to discuss on that video on communication skills. Basically, that was the main topic of it. And after that, we each gave presentations and then gave each other our feedback on the performance of our presentations. So that is for the fourth part, which is the discussion. Moving on to the last part, last but not least, the works for next week. The works for next week will include 3 main works. The first one is the D1, which is this video, which is the progress week 106. The main video and the D2 will be on the evidence-based patient in patient care. So basically it is like a type of philosophy, a model that is based on evidence-based. So it is based on evidence, and we'll need to talk about what is that evidence-based model and how is it used, all of the aspects of it basically. On the way, I'll need to add some examples and example models into that as well. So that is all that I have to say for my progress week 106. If you have any other questions or any other ideas or suggestions for improvement, then I'll be glad to hear them all. Thank you again for listening to my video, and I hope to see you in the next week meeting or in the next video. Goodbye!